What's up, family? Welcome back to another midday episode of the Fit Friends podcast. This is your host, Tabo Mashaba, and we're back again talking about a very important topic. We're talking plant based versus meat based diets. We'll be debunking a few myths. We'll be educating people and learning from two people who are on a plant based diet and a meat based diet, respectively, right? So stay tuned. What's up, family? How are you guys doing? Welcome to Mbali and Kinele. There are two guests for today. They'll be sharing their journey with us, and we'll be talking plant based and meat based diet. For those tuning in on YouTube, let us know where you're tuning in from. Leave a comment. We'd like to know who's watching. But before we get into it, I want to introduce our guests. Let's start Limbali. Good day, Mbali. How are you doing?
I'm good at yourself. What's up? What's
Um,
up? What's up?
I'm chilled, buddy. What's up, Kinele? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Thank you guys for joining us today. Today we'll be talking about plant-based diet and meat-based diet. But firstly, I want to hear from you two. Ke tlo qala ka Mbali. Mbali, you want to tell me a bit about what diet you're on and why?
Yo. Why did you go full screen?
Spaghetti.
Um, I'm sure most of us know. Well, a lot of the 21 Day Skip family have heard this from me. I'm on a plant-based diet. Well, 80% plant-based, which is not necessarily what I'd like or what I prefer, but
Uh-huh.
I went vegetarian 2018, 2018, I think.
Yeah.
And then I went vegan at the beginning of last year. And as the story goes, people know that I cut out the meat and wanted to see how life would be. Then eventually last year, I cut out the dairy products to basically help with some female reproductive system problems, like period pains and stuff like that, and just monitoring how my body reacts to cutting down on dairy and never looked back since. So that's the diet I'm on. Try mostly whole foods. We spoke earlier about the plant-based alternatives, and yeah, we'll have a discussion about that a bit later. But I'm on the plant-based side.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mbali. Hello, Kinele. Okay.
Hi, Gitengona.
I'm good, Kinele. Um, I want you to tell us a bit about who Kinele is and what type of diet is Kinele on and why.
Okay, my name is Kinele and I'm from Letlhabile. Okay, I'm an agricultural graduate,
Uh huh.
um, a facilitator, assessor, accredited with AgriStata, and I'm on a meat-based diet. Actually, I would say 80% of the meat and 20% of vegetables because I do not love vegetables. They do not taste nice. So I
Uh
don't
huh.
like them. And I also don't love fruit. So I would better do something sa ilang hore I enjoy doing it. I think ko weekend sa mo something sa ilang hore whenever I think of doing it already sa sige feel down yo, do I have to do it? And I'm like,
Yeah.
so I want to
Yeah.
enjoy the journey as well. That's why I include my meat on my diet.
I
It's
see.
something that I love, and I want to lose weight as well. So yeah.
Okay. And obviously, today we're talking plant based versus meat based diet. So, when Alimbali, you'll be talking from respective ends of the spectrum, and I'll be driving the discussion so that we can basically educate those who are viewing as to how they can potentially align their respective diets, right? So we know that there's this huge debate. Yeah, hore, okay, should I be plant based? Should I be meat based? Right? When I'm in your opinion, should one be plant based or should one be meat based? Obviously, get about voter for ing. When in your opinion, but yeah, I want to hear from you. Why should we be plant based? In fact, since we're velo and almost plant based.
I'm not like people can make their own decisions.
Yeah.
Like it's personal preference at the end of the day and what you think is good for your body, you know. I guess sometimes we do some research and then people say, nah, it's propaganda, or there's a plant-based trend going on right now or whatever. So at the end of the day, it is a personal decision, right?
Yeah.
But I think being on a plant-based diet or having 80% vegetables over and 20% meat could be beneficial for your overall well-being, you know. It's not just about yourself as well, but also the environment. Like the environment has to play a part in
Uh
it.
huh.
And you know, just yeah, if you eat well, you are well. Like, of course I'm plant-based. Like I advocate for plant-based diets, and even trying it, I always tell people try a meat-free Monday and just see how your energy levels are. Or try cut out dairy for like a month and see how your body reacts to what you're feeding it. So yeah.
I see. And then when I what do you promote? Do you promote people should be on a plant based diet or meat based mainly? Or like what's your perspective?
Now I would say firstly they have to know their body type. Like they should
Uh-huh.
do a research with their bodies firstly, because you can do meat based diet, whereas your blood type does not allow you to eat meat. So do a research firstly with your body and see what type of a diet can you go for. So yeah, now okay, obvious I would go for meat diet, even though I work with vegetables and meat, but I would prefer meat diet because some of the veggies I have allergies from some of the veggies.
Hold on, Ginela,
So
sorry. Hold on. Hey Metu, please head over to YouTube if you want to hear the other people. The best viewing experiences on that side. I haven't been able to feed their audio in so you can hear them. So hit the link in the bio and then watch on YouTube. It's gonna be a better experience. You'll be able to hear them. Okay, yes, I'm listening. Sorry about that, Ginela.
because even though I work with vegetables, I do plant vegetables and work with farmers who works with vegetables and meat. But okay, for my advice, I would advise people to go for plant-based diet because of they offer you more nutrients than meat-based
Uh-huh.
diet. Yes, so I would advise them to do it both, or do plant-based diet.
Okay, I see. I see. I like what you mentioned, a blood type based diet. Nah? So I'm actually pulling it up here on Google just so we can see what they have to say about that. Like aligning your diet based on your blood type. I've heard this
Mm.
discussion before. Jorge, you should align your diet based on your blood type because that's the best way to somewhat align your eating habits. Well, some blood types, vela meat works for them, and others it doesn't. So let's see what they say here on Google. I did pull up a screen, Chrome
I don't
tab. Here
agree with that, by the way.
we'll hear your perspective just now. We'll hear your perspective just now. So here on Google, I think I need to zoom in. Can you see that? Or do I need to zoom in?
Do a bit. There we go.
Okay, hold on. Okay, let's go Control Plus. Right. All right. Blood type based diet. Let's see what Google has to say. Does blood type diets really work? One study found that adults eating a type A diet showed improved health markers, but it occurred in everyone, not just those with type A blood type. In 2013, a major review concluded that no evidence exists to support benefits of blood type diets. Hmm.
Amen.
I- I've heard about this before. Eating based on your blood type. When I ring Bali, what's your view on this?
I just think it's like BS.
Why?
Because a lot of people have recommended, because I'm O positive, and
Uh-huh.
people are like, nah, if you cut out meat, like you need meat to survive. And I'm like, here we are 5 years later, and I'm still surviving. Like, but I just think it's well, there are some nah, actually, I don't be
Uh,
I've heard about it, and I was told about it, and I just
mhm.
never read it because I was like, my body listens to me. Like, if my blood wants to, like my I never ngizozwa ngumzimba, umzimba uzozwa ngami type of
Mm.
you know,
But
like
then, but then I pose this question to you because blood type diet, right? Thina abantu abamnyama vele sinayo lento le. If you think about it, some people within certain bloodlines don't eat certain types of meat. You know that,
Mm.
right?
mm,
So this science is not it's not something that is new to us. It's just now obviously Western medicine is only coming to quite understand it now. Like
mm,
I have that perspective that one should align their diet based on e blood type. Yeah, but why? Because basically your blood type sort of says to you, not your blood type, your bloodline says to you, Hore, uh, what has worked for your ancestry, because your DNA is basically the akashic records of your ancestry from inception to now, right? And as black people, our bloodlines run for millions and millions of years. Like our ancestors have been around for the longest time, so they've studied our bodies. And this is why even in medicine, some herbs are aligned with certain people, right? Spiritual healers, when they put together something for you, it's specific for you. It's not generic, right? So I
mm.
think there is room for discussion in terms of this. Jorge. How do we align our diets with our respective bloodlines? Let's put it like that. Bloodlines instead of blood types. How about that?
So on that, like with the scientific argument, it's been
Uh-huh.
said that like some diseases that we think are hereditary or like run within the family are not
Yes.
necessarily hereditary, but based on the foods that we consume.
Uh-huh.
So you'll
True.
find that people have low blood pressure or have cancer because they've been eating a can of tinned beef for their entire life. And it's not because my mom had cancer, but it's because the whole family was consuming a certain type of diet,
Mm.
and that
Uh,
contributed to the illnesses within the family.
Injal, lifestyle based. Injal.
You see,
Actually, let me pull up a video. Yeah, Doctor Mbuyani talking on this topic quickly.
mhm.
Yeah, I had it prepared valid for you guys. Here it is. So here I'd asked him basically, Hore, we were talking about how our lifestyles as black people, ke yona e re bakelang mathata, ne? Wait, I think I didn't share with audio. Let me share with audio. Give me a few seconds. Oh, click here, audio. There we go. The lifestyle is what's pushing the numbers up in terms of us
Yeah,
dealing with this issue. But
yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
let's talk a bit. Oh yeah, just for context, this was our episode on how to monitor heart health, right? No. So we
Mm.
know for lifestyle vele ke yone causing the lifestyle related issues like you're saying, Bali. No? So about this lifestyle, yini le lifestyle le is time.
Okay, Ilaf, the food that we consume, number one, the food that we eat, because yeah, yeah, the food that we eat, as but they like saying, we are what we eat, yeah, bro. So the food that you eat, things that are fatty, trans what you call fatty acids, those are not good. The thing cholesterol, those are not good, yeah, and then also are you an active person or a morbid person? Meaning we are exerciser or all you do when you develop harm and so forth. So that's also a very, very important thing. So it's mainly on the life and also the social habits. Those are very key. I mustn't forget too. My social habits, smoking and drinking. That's a very, very big thing also. So by lifestyle, I mean that the food, your activity, and your social habits.
Okay. So this validates the point you're making, Bali, which actually some of the ailments we're dealing with are not supposedly hereditary. They are based off the diet that we are eating, right? So he makes a good point. I don't know if you guys know what trans fatty acids are. Especially if you're a meat eater, you must know what trans fatty acids or trans fatty acids. Those are the fats that align the uh, king, the heart, the arteries, right around the heart. Those are the ones that make your artery slightly smaller, right? Because it lines the artery. So the thick fat layer on meat, on red meat especially, baba, pork, and that thick fat layer, it transfers. Kiona, let's think about it like this. If you fry a steak, right, and after frying it, you pour that oil down the drain, what happens? It clogs up, okay? The drain clogs up if you keep pouring that fat. So think about it like that when it comes to your heart, right? So for meat eaters, those are some of the things they need to think about. So I'm gonna come to you, Ginele Hanyane. I want to find out which is your prefer. I ran a poll earlier. Do you prefer red meat or do you prefer white meat? What do you prefer?
Okay, I eat both. I
Uh-huh.
prefer both, but regarding the red meat, I eat the lean meat.
Uh-huh.
Lean meat has less fat,
Okay.
and with white meat, I also remove the skin,
Yeah.
and I usually grill them or boil them. That's how I
O-
take them. I do not fry them.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So
And
I I eat both, and I prefer both.
which do you eat mostly? I know South Africans we eat a lot of
White,
chicken. Yeah, white.
white,
Okay, that's
white,
good.
because I deal with broilers, so I eat white,
Okay.
chicken and pork.
Okay. Let's talk a bit about food processing, Guinea. Like Yatsiba, when you're in the farming game, tell us a bit about that, and also tell us a bit about like the quality, yeah, the meat that we eat here in South Africa. Israel, from your perspective.
Okay, now I'm more based on the vegetable side, ne?
Uh huh.
And broilers. So
Okay.
with cattle and all that, I only do artificial insemination and pregnancy diagnosis only.
Okay.
So for meat processing with cattle meat and piggery, I don't work with them. But what I know is that with broilers, we
Uh
still
huh.
have a shortage for chicken. We import most of our meat. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. Yeah, that's one of the things we are trying to fight. Hore, we are trying to reduce. Hore, we should export meat, or now we should produce more meat. Ne?
Okay.
Sorry. The thing is, we don't know that meat sell if it's a name. The injections they inject them it preserve the freshness of the meat. I get
Yeah.
so can say long re try re reduce come country arena. That's why we introduce broiler farming to the communities arena. How people should start producing their own meat, also producing their own vegetables. So when it comes to nama kamarana kam yo resal mama tatingyan. Yeah,
Okay.
especially on chicken. So resal mama tating. But with
Okay.
cattle and others, we do produce them ourselves. But then I cannot tell because I give my department meat production. Yeah, who process a meat. No.
Okay, let's talk a bit about because I know a lot of people Raja chicken heavily, and we spoke about how they inject the chickens. What do they inject chicken with, and why?
Okay, I don't know. I don't know the name,
Uh
but
huh.
yun like kihui. Okay, the thing that they use kihui preserve the freshness. The
Oh,
longer it stays, more I get more. So like it's yeah. How do I put it? Okay,
I get what you mean. Shelf life.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, na ever using you. I don't know the name. I don't wanna lie. I don't know the name because I grow them. I slaughter them. I don't put anything. I only feed them.
Okay. And what do our chickens eat locally?
Sorry.
Like, what do they feed the chickens locally?
Okay, we give them okay, for the first 2 weeks we give them starter.
Uh-huh.
We give and then for 3 weeks we give them grower, and for 2 weeks or 1 week we give them finish, but I don't usually give them finisher. By the fourth week I have to be start okay, by the fourth week I should start selling.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but the normal growth way, the normal maturity, okay, the maturity stage, it should take 6 weeks, but now from the fourth week I start selling. Okay, their feed include sunflower seed, wheat, yellow maize, and sorghum.
Okay, I see. And like, what are the regulations around? Are there any regulations considering the demand, or the market is just consuming?
No, it will depend on where utter market thing. For formal marketing, yes, there are, but for informal, we don't have them.
Okay, I see. I just did a Google search. How much chicken do we eat in South Africa? Let me pull it up so you guys can see how scary it is. When you actually say, hey, say chicken, man. Oh, what? And these are stats from like 2018. Nah? Share screen. Here we go. I hope you can see that. Let me go full screen. So basically, South Africans therefore consume about 28
A
million chickens
week.
a week. Dude,
I
dude, 28 million chickens a week.
was
What?
thinking that's gonna say a year.
What? What? So now it poses the issue, yeah, like GMO. If we talk about GMO, genetically modified foods, and what do you have to say about this, Kinela? Because these stats are crazy. 28 million chickens a week, and this was 2018. We don't know what we're on right now. You know.
So we eat
Instead
more
of,
chickens in a year than how many people are actually in the country.
oh
Like,
yeah, definitely. What? Oh, well, from a business perspective, it makes a lot of sense for one to invest
I'm
and
getting a
start a chick.
chicken farm.
You know what I'm saying?
Getting a chicken shop.
What?
It's a
What?
lot, guys. It's a lot.
You. 28
And we still
million.
have a shortage.
Imagine. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. Khurja,
A
28 million
week.
chickens and we still have a shortage. That's crazy.
Yes, we still have a
That's
shortage.
crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, cool. So clearly, Rona Vela, our country is majority plant based. Look like it's plant based, meat based, and mostly chicken, right? And mostly
Mhm.
chicken. Yeah, and then now the problem is that we deal with a lot of, like what Dr. Mbuyane said, we deal with a lot of lifestyle related ailments. So when Bali, let's talk a bit about, because if you think about Kumachayeng, bontatemogolo le bonkgono ko magaeng, they live for long periods and baja merogo, right? Baja, they don't eat meat all the time, and even when they do eat meat, it's organic chickens that they raise themselves. Wabona? So let's talk a bit about that, Mbali, within the vegan space. Or do you mostly eat organic, or do you find it difficult to consume organic produce all the time because of the price point?
Well, it's a tricky one. Mostly organic because
Uh-huh.
of personal of a friend of mine that grows
Uh-huh.
organic. So I prefer organic and generally can taste the difference between what I buy at the store and what was organically grown by Little Pharmacy. So a friend of mine has a farm called Little Pharmacy on Instagram, and yeah, he grows his own organic produce and quite reasonably priced. And I try, so the dilemma I have is I am the only plant-based person in my family, or the only person that eats as much vegetables as I do, whereas my
Uh-huh.
family prefers starch and a meat,
Yeah.
and it becomes difficult preserving the vegetables. So when I cook something, it's basically a meal prep. So whatever I prep today, I'll eat for the next 2 days to 3 days at most,
Yeah.
So yeah, I prefer organic. Definitely can taste the difference between store bought vegetables to, even if the store says organic, but the reassurance of knowing that the spinach or the kale that I'm having right now was like just taken out of the ground an hour ago. I just prefer it. And I've also noticed my digestive system. Like when I'm eating organic, my food is processed or digests at a quicker rate or speed compared to when I'm not eating organic, essentially. So definitely prefer organic.
I see. I see. Okay, so one of the benefits being vegan or being on a plant-based diet is weight loss, right? Like the weight loss process is rapid, very quick. You lose weight, obviously because your caloric intake drops so drastically. Wawa.
Mm.
And yeah, Ginele was on a basically on a weight loss journey, and I want her to share with us, especially since she was on a meat-based diet, how she went about achieving her weight loss goal. Firstly, maybe she can tell us a bit about, Kinelo before Akala, her weight loss journey, what it was like, and what inspired her to go into this weight loss journey. Then we can unpack how she aligned her diet as a meat based eater to help her meet her weight loss goal.
Oh, okay. Before I started this journey of losing weight,
Uh-huh.
okay, most of the times I was so tired, lazy, and besides that, at home we have chronic diseases. So I just wanted to avoid that. So then one day I
Sorry,
just
I didn't get that. Or at home, Honaling?
chronic diseases,
Okay.
diabetes,
Yeah.
and high blood, you name them. Yeah. So I did not want to be part of that. That's why I decided, you know what? In order for me not to be part of that, I just have to change my lifestyle and reduce my weight because I was so big. I was so big. I was at size 44, I think. And by
Uh-huh.
that time, I was at high school. Yeah, so I was wearing size 44, and it was too much for me. So um, that's why I decided to be on a sorry, that's why I decided to start this journey of losing weight. Then
Mm-hmm.
I changed my diet and I started to see some changes, but then the result was slow. Then I introduced what's that? I was introduced to
Mm-hmm.
Have a Life product. Then I used their shake for my meal replacement, and then uh yeah, I used those product, but they were expensive for me. So I just said, you know what, I just have to use whatever that I have at home. Nah?
Uh-huh.
I just have to use whatever that I have at home, start with what I have. Because I've started this before and okay, I was eating vegetables most of the time, but the taste was not nice. I did not like them. So that's why I did change to have a life. I just said I should maybe try something else. Maybe I could see the results faster, but then have a life, it was expensive for me. So then that's when I did a research about my body, about different diets and all that. Then yeah, I started to do this one. Yeah, 80% of meat, 20% of vegetables and fruits and yeah, and all that. And then I introduced habit fitness.
Uh-huh.
I started exercising every day. Okay, I usually exercise 5 times a week. Then on weekends I rest. So yeah, that's what I do. Mm, what else? Can you repeat your question? Excuse, can you repeat the
No,
question again?
no,
I
it's all
was
good.
distracted.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, no, I think you've answered me well. I actually want to. Someone is there trying to engage you. I actually wanted you to unpack a bit on. I heard you say 80% meat based and 20% greens and veggies. Are you talking about a keto diet?
Okay, I won't say I'm doing keto diet, but I do mix it with keto sometimes.
Uh
I do
huh.
mix it with it. Yes.
Okay, I see. And how long has it been since you started your weight loss journey, and how much weight have you lost?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know it's how much, but now I'm weighing it's 30, 36, 36 and 38.
Okay, you mean that's your waist
My
size?
weight, yes, my size is 36 and 38. For the reason for going to 38 is because I'm modeling for Wolf Mode underwear and I'm their plus size model. So
Uh huh.
I have to keep I just had to keep this weight
Yeah.
for 38 size. Yeah. So but now my goal is to reach 34 and 36.
Okay, I see. Okay. Bali, sengiza kuwe manje. Um, Obviously, I know you train with us. I want us to talk a bit about some of the drawbacks of a vegan diet. Because what I do know is that there is the plant based agenda happening, but now we have this problem here these king, barking meat free patty. Or
Mm.
you feel me? Like, what do they call them? Kind of what's that brand?
Yeah, they plug fries and Beyond Burger.
Oh yes, why bon mo iruki mo extra body beyond burger body like for me this is a problem because if you're eating healthy the number one thing you need to avoid is processed foods. Let me add this to screen, right? So now
Mm.
we find ourselves with this agenda where
I know
uh,
Lexi's has their own patty now.
why one? So
Oh,
for me, this is a huge problem because everyone is trying to eat healthier. They're trying to lead healthier lifestyles, but
mm,
we're going back to the problem, the same problem that we're having, where processed foods. Wawan.
mm.
So, what's your take on this as a vegan? What are your views on these processed patties? Uh, these things that sort of make it seem like you're eating meat, but you're not. What's your view on them, bud?
I feel like I'm in the principal's office now.
No, I want to hear from you because this is now also like the issue because we're falling into the same trap. Again,
Mm,
the issue we are having with meat is because of the mass production. We've already established Tori, we consume 28 million chickens a week, meaning that the chicken we're eating is potentially not good for us because of the fact that it's mass produced and it's pushed out so quickly. But here we go now again. Isn't this just the food industry shifting its efforts because maybe they see hore, the money spent on producing meat at a mass scale is too much. So they now realize, okay, let's feed them some artificial what? Ooh, the chicken style burgers. Barbecue chicken fries, chicken style burgers. What is it? What's your yeah? Tell me,
well,
like, what's your take?
it depends. So there's the retail style of plant-based alternative meats, right? Which is
Uh huh.
what you just showed us now. And definitely I am guilty of like trying those out because sometimes you run out of ideas of what to make and you run out of and then people ask you, don't you miss meat? And you're like, no, I don't miss meat. And they're like, okay, but why do you want a Beyond Burger? You know, and I'm just like, can I just have a Beyond Burger? Like, you know, um, they I think I've shared it with you before. Like when I feel guilty when I've been lazy to cook, and then I go on this journey where I just consume plant-based or meat alternatives. And definitely after going on that splurge, I've gained about 2 to 3 kilograms, right? And with good reason. Like when I'm eating like a clean whole food diet, I maintain my weight of 57 to 60. And when I'm consuming plant-based alternatives, I'm between 62 and 63, which is a problem because that's like a 8 kilogram difference from my original weight or my preferred weight, you know. So it is a problem. And then you get the other part where it's the vegan friendly restaurants. So there's a restaurant in Bedford View called Kaylee's Eatery, and they basically create their own meat alternatives, but it's not like a food processing vibe. It's taking mushrooms and putting them together to make a patty for you type of vibe, you know, like taking plant based substances or plants to make the patty for you. So I enjoy that over the retail store meat alternative. So
Okay.
there's a win-win. There's like a healthy, there's a healthy side of the plant alternatives or meat alternatives, and there's an unhealthy side of it. Obviously, the retail side is not the best because it is processed and it's a mass production vibe, whereas Kaylee's, it's based on seasonal vegetables as well. So these vegan-based restaurants are based on seasonal vegetables, and they make you like plant-based foods based on what's in season and what like is on trend right now. So yeah, those are that's the scale. So it's better to go eat out than buy the alternative yourself.
I see. And
Yeah.
and and now as a vegan, because I want us to empower Guinea, because Guinea Ariana are the veggie. They don't taste nice.
Veggies taste so good.
I've been there, right? Plant based as well.
Mhm.
I've been on a plant based diet, and I know the challenge that she refers to, because initially when you start, it's like it's a huge paradigm shift, and we're so not used to like
Oh,
really like going in when it comes to making the veggies taste good and like some of the recipes, but over time you learn and you master the game, right? So what advice would you give someone out there that's trying to eat more veggies in their diet and make it more interesting? Like what are some of your go-to's? Maybe let's make it more practical like that. Like what are some of your go-to's in terms of like the foods that you make? Because I saw yesterday you were having you were having quite a nice meal. I saw you had shared your meal on the status. Yeah. Well,
Um, so I always try and make my meals as easy and simple as possible, you know,
uh-huh.
and also try not to take away from the nutrients of the vegetable because you can easily overboil something and it's pointless to eat it at the end of the day. Like I hate
mm,
boiled spinach. Like, you know, we were raised on the fact that you make cream spinach by boiling your spinach and then adding all the other creams. And then eventually I discovered how great spinach tastes on its own. Like just blanching it in a pan, quick, salt and pepper, and enjoy the vegetable as it is, like preserving the actual true flavor of the vegetable. I try to not cook for longer than 2 hours, genuinely. Like, don't prepare anything that takes longer than 2 hours. Um, Couscous is like my go-to. Couscous, quinoas, and brown rice because that's really quick to make and has really good nutrients and less starch. You know, I also and less carbs in my diet. I try to have less carbs in my diet, but also, you know, about knowing your body. I know when I consume carbs, my core is like gone. Like I don't like Mkaba will be like, "What's up, girl? I'm here now." But yeah, I really try mostly roast or fry or pressure cook things because it saves on prep time or like, you know, like getting your actual meal out. Yesterday you saw I had couscous, some pumpkin.
Yeah,
I fried
I'm trying to share that actually.
I
Hold
fried
on.
some mushrooms with some broccoli, And then
Uh-huh.
I had chickpeas. So I had chickpeas that I had previously soaked and then basically just fried them up, boiled them in the pressure cooker, fried them up with some onions. What else was in there? But yeah, it was just about enjoying like the different vegetables. And yeah, I just missed, yeah. So I went through the splurging of having Panarotti's pizza and Kaylee's over the weekend. So it was like a guilt meal. Like I know I didn't eat well, so yeah, I'm gonna eat well today. But yeah, it's
Okay.
just about you can literally fry your vegetables. Salt and pepper makes everything taste good. Like genuine salt and pepper flavoring. Just yeah. And Google is your best friend. I always say Google is your best friend. Even yesterday, I had mushrooms, I had broccoli, and I was like, oh, do mushrooms and broccoli go together in a dish? And then I just Googled mushrooms and broccoli, and there was a recipe that popped up, you know? So
Uh,
you can get creative with what you have by literally Google searching. Oh, and I
and
added some sunflower seeds there. What
into
was it?
what?
Into the broccoli and the mushrooms.
Okay,
Mm.
I see. So Kinelo, I wonder who is possible who, you know,
No, no,
eh,
I'm actually gonna try it for a
yeah.
week though. For a week, I'm actually gonna try it.
And Bali, let's talk about, because I remember the last time you were on the podcast, Tonelo, you were talking about the benefits when it comes to some of the you know, some of your monthly cycle, if I recall correctly.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, tell us a bit about that. Like, what shift did you see? How no shifter from meat based to plant based when it comes to your monthly cycle?
So that was the biggest shift happened last year when I cut out the dairy. But
Uh huh.
the shift that happened before the dairy was cut out was the number of days that I'm actually on my period.
Uh
And like I went from 3.5 days to literally like 2 days now, like 2.5 days. And my body is so well behaved, like it's on time. Like it's so strange, but this is so much TMI, but it's on time. It's 2.5 days. And when it's longer, I know that okay, I haven't been feeding my body correctly. You know, if I'm having vegan cheese, which is strange, I'll know that my cycle is gonna be off, you know.
uh
And it also helped with period pains. You know, I had intense period pains, like intense to a point where nausea was a thing. Like I couldn't function, like I couldn't fully function, like, you know. And when I cut out the dairy, the period pains are almost like close to gone. Now I can just feel that I'm on my period, but not necessarily like have the pain, you know. So that was
huh.
a good added benefit. And it's something I've told friends as well. Like a week before you go on your period and a week prior to your period, just try cut down on the dairy. Actually, any animal related, like eggs, dairy, like cheese, anything that comes from a cow. I'm not hating on cows, but anything, yeah. Because it also goes back to how growing up, our parents used to say that girls don't eat eggs or whatever, you know, those things.
Uh
And then it kind of clicks now that, okay, this is why. Because your maturity, it was like, yeah, but it's really helped. It's genuinely really helped.
I see. I
But
see.
I think another add on, it's not just diet. I also made the switch of, okay, but this is not going to be a girl talk. The switch of the products, the sanitary products that we use as ladies. I made the shift from the pads and the tampons to a cup, and that has been a cleaner and healthier journey, essentially.
Okay. I see. No, one of the 21 participants, Bella, actually wants us to have this discussion, menstrual issues and so forth. So I'm planning to arrange, like, you know, a discussion on this, yeah, to educate, because she was saying Hurliana Vele, she's dealing with a lot when it comes to women health issues, when it comes to an inability to conceive, uh, you know, you name it, all these things that come with being a woman. So yeah, I think this discussion, Vele, it's a big one.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I don't know if like you're saying, the reason most people are dealing is because of the lifestyle. Actually, right? It's not that Vele, you are subjugated to this monthly pain all the time because it's natural, right? No, it's not natural.
It's lifestyle.
It's lifestyle related, Baba. Yeah. So I
Even
want to shift.
the cravings of chocolates, don't
Eh,
give into it. Don't give into the craving of chocolates. Don't give
eh,
into the craving of fizzy drinks. Like,
uh-huh.
don't do that to yourself, because the pain that you feel comes from what you are feeding your body, and not because your body's breaking down the eggs. And no, it's what you're feeding your body.
Okay. So as per our discussion here today, plant-based versus meat-based. What is the conclusion based of what we've discussed now? Wenambali, what do you think the conclusion should be?
The conclusion is, listen to your body.
I like that. I like that.
The conclusion is, listen to your body. If you're
Uh,
seeing that you're eating a certain way and you're not looking the way you want to look, you are what you eat. It's
uh-huh.
not genetics. Okay, some instances it is, but you can, what we're talking about, lifestyle, basically changing the lifestyle or the course of how you're raised, and making your own decisions when it comes to your body, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, listen to your body. It tells you a lot. It genuinely tells you a lot. Like, when I have a headache, the first thing, when I have a headache or I'm feeling nauseous, I ask myself, what did you eat that you don't normally eat?
Yeah.
You know, because what you eat can tell you a lot about what your body is going through or what your body's experiencing.
Israel, the body signals to you in various ways for there's something off. There's something off there. So when I can based off the discussion, and obviously you've heard Mbali's perspective on plant-based, like what's your take, and like what would you say one should do going forward in terms of aligning their diet and nutrition?
Okay, okay, ke agree le Mbali, ne?
Hmm.
But gape o lebelele, this thing starts with your mindset.
Yeah.
Ne? So once mindset a ko rile ash meat based, ke tlo nna ke ntse ke re meat based. Le nka try plant based, it won't work for me because already in my mindset se ke rile ke nyaka nama. Wa ntlhala so
Yeah. Yeah.
gape ke agree le na how to listen to your body and do your research as well. Because now Cody planting, I'm gonna try it because I have a problem lead protein. I'm gonna try
Uh-huh.
it, plant based, but I'm gonna rotate. I'm gonna change it. Maybe this month I'm gonna do plant based. Then the other month, change. I'm gonna do because I'm really struggling with the menstruation cycle. Yeah,
Uh,
pain. Sometimes I'm generally a heavy flow.
okay.
Sometimes the abnormal. So I'm gonna try it for a month and see what's gonna happen.
I think what
Then
Mbali
go
is
channel my mindset for it.
what Mbali is suggesting is that one should basically dairy. I think she mentions dairy as the key driving factor, right? Not necessarily meat, but dairy, Nembali. Because the shift for you
But
happened Hanu shifter from dairy, right?
Vegetarian. Yeah, yeah,
Well, vegetarian to vegan, nah?
yeah.
Okay, I see. I see. Yeah, maybe how can cut dairy from your diet, Kinil?
I don't take dairy. I get bloated, so I don't take dairy.
But try maybe even meat, because there are some, apparently white meats are better during that
Uh-huh.
time compared to red meats,
Red.
because the thing is, we apparently crave iron when we go on our periods.
Yes,
So that's why
yes.
we eat more meat, and but that's also like affecting us it's not like necessarily beneficial for us, but it's the iron craving that ladies are always trying to satisfy during that time.
But that iron craving makes sense. You see how smart the body is.
Mm.
Obviously, you're losing
You're
blood.
losing, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which have a high iron content, and hence that's why I guess that's why women are so anemic,
Mm.
right?
Yeah,
Because
it is.
a lot of them are dealing with excessive blood flow. So obviously already your blood glucose levels or your blood levels are low, extremely low in the
Mm.
body itself. And then obviously it drops your iron levels, meaning it pushes you towards an anemic state. Okay, I see. So control your flow, control your anemia, basically.
Yeah,
Potentially.
basically. Yeah.
I see. I see.
Because if
Oh,
you're cutting down your flow days, or if it's like lighter, you're losing less blood. So that's what I've been able to do, cut down the
okay.
number of days and the flow, like essentially. Yeah.
Okay. No, I think we've had a very insightful discussion today on plant-based versus meat-based diet. And we are concluding that balance is important. Listen to your body. So if you eat something and your body is like, "Mm-mm, this is not for me," shift it out your diet completely. So it's not everyone that should be plant-based 100%, and it's not everyone that should be on a meat-based diet, right? You try and you test based off what your body says. Yeah, and then you tweak and you align accordingly. And then avoid processed foods. Nah. So be it you're on a plant-based diet or be it you're on a meat-based diet, avoid processed foods. So processed meats, processed patties, from both sides of the spectrum. And yeah, and then balance it out with a right amount of greens and veggies, and then things should be good for you going forward in terms of the diet and nutrition. Yeah, I really appreciate everyone who tuned in. We had some people tuning in live, although they didn't leave comments, but yeah, people were watching. Yeah, hopefully when we do cut this video up, we're gonna get some very insightful little clips of you guys sharing your story. That we can push out onto social media to educate people, because there have been many points that we touched on in our discussion today. And I really appreciate you guys giving us some time. But don't leave. I'm going to cut the stream, and then, yeah, we'll have a chat on the side. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Whoever catches this recording, leave a comment. Let us know whether you're plant based or meat based. And yeah, so that we can continue this discussion and continually educate each other on healthy eating and just shifting our perspective as Black people. Because like Dr. Mbuyane said earlier, a lot of our issues stem from our lifestyle. Like lifestyle ya rona being that we drink a lot, and two being that we eat a lot of trans fatty acid foods. So dinamatasho, red meat, all this food that is supposedly black food. Ke yona e na le hore kawatsa, right? So yeah, I think this discussion can go on for hours in terms of like some of the shifts we need to make. Perhaps we need to also have a discussion around some of the best practices in terms of preparing these foods, right? Both from a plant side and both from a meat side. Because, like you're saying, Bali, if you overcook the veggies, you lose nutritional value. And then, like Kinele said earlier, rather boil or steam or grill your meat as opposed to frying it, right? Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope everyone has a good day. Thank you for joining us during this lunchtime live stream. Peace.